But you'll probably make it out in one piece. Probably.
Hello everyone, this is GDOHR1 here, back for another video, and in this video I'm going to be showing you the Gemmy life-size Graves Robberson the Fat Butler prototype, and I'm also going to be comparing him to his produced counterpart. And right off the bat you can see there's a lot of differences. But this item was very tedious to acquire, it took a lot of work and effort, and two other collectors, Peter and Johnny, also helped me acquire this. It was quite the process, but it happened. And now he is in the best condition he's been in a long, long time.
Is indisposed at the moment. Please be patient, as it's quite difficult to dispose of certain things these days.
This needed a few repairs. The original guy that got this, Brandon, he repaired the arm because it had broken off or something like that. The tray arm, that is. And then there was a split gear in the mouth, and in the eyes, and in the head turn. So all gears were split.
I hope you'll enjoy these delicacies. They'll surprise you. One bite is like a knife in the back.
The head mech was actually replaced because I found one that was a lot quieter with the gears. So the head mechs were swapped out. And the original guy that got this had fixed the mouth, but the way it was glued and everything wasn't, I guess, the best because it ended up breaking. But it's been repaired again and should last for years to come. And the guy next to him is a produced model, obviously, and the head is actually from another produced model because the head on this one looked really not the best when I got it, but the body is in great shape and the box is in excellent condition, so I kept everything but the head with this one, and I swapped out the head for the new one. We'll go ahead and get a closer look here. So right off the bat you'll notice there's a height difference, and most collapsible life sizes got the Butler body shell, which kind of has a hump in the back because the Butler is a little leaned forward. So that's why if you look at a Dr. Shivers, for example, the clothing doesn't always fit the best around him because he has that kind of hunch, but yet his neck is straight up and down. So the one on the right is built off of a classic Butler. The one on the left has a new body shell and is also a little taller. And the heads are extremely different. They're completely different sculpts, and if you swapped the heads, one of them will look cool, the other one will look absolutely terrible. Because the produced body shell does not have a hunch in it whatsoever. It's perfect posture, but the head is sculpted to lean forward, so you can kind of see the head plate in there and how it leans forward. So if you take that head and put it on this body, it just looks ridiculous. It just looks really bad. If you take this head and put it on here, he's very tall, his posture is perfect. It honestly kind of works, but not the other way around. As for which I prefer when it comes to the body shell, obviously that's more unique. Makes him live up to the name Fat Butler a little better. But this one's also really cool. I like both. When it comes to the material of the outfits, they're kind of similar overall. This outfit has a lot more like starch in it because the collar is a lot more firm. This one is a lot more, soft. This is easier to move. This one is more firm once again. This is just messed up on this particular one, but you've got that there, and it's pretty much the same overall. The fabric is a little different. You can see that the squares on that one versus on this one. So very small differences with the fabric, but with the pants, the lines on the pants are more spaced out on this one and closer together on this one. This one does not have the aux port, microphone mode, or volume control. It has the same things that a regular Butler would, and this one has all of those functions. Aside from being a different sculpt, the heads also work a lot differently. So a lot of times we'll see variety in how a Graves will look. Sometimes their mouth is more shut, other times it's open, and sometimes it's really open and it looks like he got a concussion or something. I don't know. I'm sure that's the nicest way of putting it. And that is because with the new sculpt, they also sculpted a separate throat. This is, I'm pretty sure, the only Gemmy life-size really that has an entire throat. So it's not just, doesn't just stop right there. Like it actually, there's a whole tongue and everything. It goes all the way back there. And that's really cool. You can see right there where it's attached and it's separated. That's cool, but it does make the mouth move less and it makes the mouth hang open. There's a lot of similarities to these sculpts. The top of the head is kind of similar. You've got the wrinkles and the sculpted on eyebrows. Eye bags are similar in design. The noses are quite different. This one is more narrow and kind of curved, and this one is a little wider. Ears are pretty similar. And this one does not have a soft PVC throat. It actually has a sculpted throat, except it doesn't go all the way in the back. When the mouth opens, you can see straight inside of the head, which is kind of a problem. But of course this is better. They actually sculpted a tongue and teeth and all that. You'll see it more during the activation, and there's a roof of the mouth. And originally this guy's lips would have been thinner. You can see where there's no paint that would have been glued onto the mouthpiece, but it looks better this way, it works better this way, it's less stress on the mech, and also just, a lot of the samples looked fine with the thinner lips, but this one just looked really strange and goofy when he was first found, so he looks a lot better now. But overall they have really different vibes, if you will, very different kind of demeanors to them. This one's a little more serious, this one's a little more of like, he's tired, he doesn't want to be here, all of that. Another thing is the trays. Graves has a unique tray. Because his hand is larger, the handle in the back is taller. And with this one, that is kind of, early looking, if you will. You can see it's not exactly the cleanest look. And then this one is, very nice. The hands are slightly different colors. This one is a little more pink in color. This is a little bit more towards the gray side of things. I think that's about it. Those are the main differences between them, cosmetically speaking. The programs, I'm pretty sure, are 100% identical. It's just this one is higher pitch and clearer audio because it has an EEPROM. And it moves faster. In fact, the things are not higher pitch with EEPROMs, their speed is higher, which in turn makes the voice higher pitch. And here's the box, which, when you buy one, you see this and it's like, oh, I'm gonna get that, but you get this instead. And this is actually a different head. So there's like 3 heads. That's the first design, this is the second design, and that's the third. This one, it still has the mouthpiece and all of that, those features of the original one, but it is sculpted the same style as this one. So the head is leaning forward, you can see he's got that new body shell, so he's got that unique posture to him. This is like an in-between model between produced and the early prototype. And this is another head that's built similar to this head. And you can see here, it says hear him mumble and see him breathe. That is a typo. He does not mumble or breathe. Has has all of the generic Butler box description stuff on here. This item was made for 2007. There's evidence pointing to Bed Bath & Beyond carrying a second gen. And some people have said they got a second gen, but I've kind of thought about it and looked at a lot of factors, and I'm not exactly sure if that's been found yet in the community. Just because, you know, in 2008, most of everything got cheap eyes, and the life sizes would have had a Trimmy jack, and Graves would, in theory, have to have those things. But maybe not. And if we ever found a box, that would confirm it. But yeah, I've definitely been talking way too much as usual, but some people like that. So hopefully it's not that big of an issue. But I'm going to go ahead and plug both of these in, and we will get started.
You are looking wonderful this evening. But then again, I say a lot of things. Care for something? I highly recommend you first ensure it has been properly prepared. Touch it and see if it moves. I hope you'll enjoy these delicacies. They'll surprise you. One bite is like a knife in the back. I do hope I'll not have to clean up after anybody tonight. And I do mean anybody. As I understand it, the master is indisposed at the moment. Please be patient, as it's quite difficult to dispose of certain things these days. Please, take one of my treats here. True, they are bad for your health. But then again, so is upsetting me. So good of you to come. We've begun to run short on friends around here, but you'll probably.
So those are all of his phrases. And we heard the first one towards the beginning of the video. Now I'll play through the produce, and then we'll do both at the same time.
Good evening. I would offer you a refreshment. I fear you might.
You are looking wonderful this evening. But then again, I say a lot of things.
I turned his volume down a little, but you can see that there's a lot more bass in his voice.
Care for something? I highly recommend you first ensure it has been properly prepared. Touch it and see if it moves. I hope you'll enjoy these delicacies. They'll surprise you. One bite is like a knife in the back. I do hope I'll not have to clean up after anybody tonight. And I do mean anybody. As I understand it, the master is indisposed at the moment. Please be patient, as it's quite difficult to dispose of certain things these days.
You can see that one's eyes light up really uniquely, the way it illuminates the iris of the eyeball, and this is a more typical light.
Please, take one of my treats here. True, they are bad for your health. But then again, so is upsetting me. So good of you to come. We've begun to run short on friends around here, but you'll probably.
Both of them, even this one, has the poor programming for that one phrase. And, you know, the original recorded phrase says, you know, so good of you to come. We've begun to run short on friends around here, but you'll probably make it out in one piece. Probably. So that's the entire phrase, and both of these, it's cut off. Also, one other note, for this one in particular, the eye circles are painted really dark. That's just a batch thing, I think. A lot of them are painted lighter, like the prototype here. But that's all the phrases, so now we are going to do both of them at the same time.
Good evening. I would offer you a refreshment. I fear you might become suspicious.
I say you are looking wonderful.
I say you are looking wonderful.
Then again, I say a lot.
Then again, I say a lot of things. Care for something? I
highly recommend you first ensure it is properly prepared.
Touch it and see if it moves. I hope you'll enjoy
these delicacies.
They'll surprise you.
One bite is like a knife in the
I do hope I'll not clean up after everybody tonight. And I do mean anybody. As I understand, the master is indisposed at the moment. Please be patient, as it's quite difficult to dispose of certain things these days. Please, take one of my treats here. True, they are bad for your health. But then again, so is upsetting me.
See the posture difference right there?
So good of you to come. We began to run short on friends around here, but you probably. Good evening. I would offer you a refreshment. I fear you might become suspicious.
Suppose I can do an in the dark demonstration.
I say you are looking wonderful this evening. But then again, I say a lot of this. For something, I highly recommend you first ensure it has been properly prepared. Touch it, see if it moves. I hope you enjoy these delicacies. They'll surprise you. One bite is like a knife in the back. Like a knife in the back. I do hope I'll not have to clean up after anybody tonight. And I do mean anybody. As I understand, the master is indisposed at the moment. Please be patient. As it's quite difficult to dispose of certain things these days. Please, take one of my treats here. True, they are bad for your health. But then again, so is upsetting me. So good of you to come. We began to run short on friends around here, but you probably. Good evening. I would offer you a refreshment. I fear you might become suspicious.
Anyways, guys, those are the Graves Robberson, the Fat Butler life sizes by Gemmy Industries. You have the prototype on the right and the produced model on the left. Thanks for watching, and if you have any other questions or comments, you can leave those down below. Thanks.